What's good, YouTube? It's me, your boy Squiddy, back in with another one of the videos. And today we're going to take a look at this funny deck that's been around forever. I call it squidgunity, aka dragunity. And yeah, I've just been playing around a couple of days, past couple of days, come up with some crazy combos. This deck is super fun. It has so many different ways you can do combos, and the end boards are crazy destructive. You can get like 3 negates plus a buster lock as one of your best boards, which is insane. I'm just going to dive into the deck. I'll show you guys how it works. It's similar to Dragon Link. We're just playing a bunch of dragons, you know, Dragunities. We have 3 Remus, standard. This is a card that you need to start in your opening hand. You discard it, you can add a Ravine, and it also special summons back as an extender, you know, a level 2 Dragon Tuner. That's insane. We have 2 Ducks, you know, back in the day, this guy was amazing. Now, the only reason we play 2, could probably cut it to 1, but, you know, it's 2 just like as one way to have one in your deck. You know, if your opponent has like a grinding matchup, you know, with hand traps, you have another one to summon later on the turn. Just get your level 6s out, get level 8s out standard. 2 Phalanx and 1 Koos. The reason why Koos is not that great is because it has a restriction where you can only summon it Dragunity Synchro monsters using it. So that's why Phalanx is a lot better. We need 3 for the super combo that I play. I'll show you guys later in the combo after this. We only play 1 Legatus because you search this off of Ravine. It's only once per turn. I find like playing more than 1, you don't want 2 in hand, and you're going to want to search something off of the Ravine discard anyways, because we do have to use Ravine discard to sort of set up our plays. So having like this opening list is not really like that useful. 1 Armagram, it's a Dragon Ruler for Dragunities. You can banish 2 dragons or winged beast monsters, summon this from the graveyard or your hand, and then it also has some other niche effects. You can negate a face of monster, but it's recursion. It's good. Same thing with Leviathan. It's part of your Buster Lock. It allows you, when this card is special summoned, you can attach any dragon from your graveyard as an equip spell to it. So yeah, it's not once per turn. You get the Buster Lock set up. It's also an extender because you can revive the babies and so on and so forth. Only 1 Mistletoe. Back in the day, you played 2 or 3 because it was an extender. But again, this deck is more combo oriented. Opening this does nothing. We just want to search it off so we can use it with Dragunity Glow. And I'll show you that combo after this again. 1 Zephyros, one of the best cards in the deck. This card is insane. Most of the combos of this deck involve summoning Gatorg and dumping things, and the first thing that you want to dump is Zephyros because it allows you to bounce your Ravine so you can use it once, and B, summon back Zephyros so you can make Romulus with that and Gatorg. Then we play 1 Tempest because it's Dragon Ruler. It's super good with Goldstark as well. It allows you to add, it makes Goldstark into a Rhoda for Remus when it's banished, and it's also a part of a lot of our combos. We've banished this actually from the deck with the Trishula Fusion, which I'll show you after this. Again, I keep repeating myself, but yeah, these combos are freaking awesome, so you guys are gonna love them. Darkus, Metal Dragon, standard off the tomb. 1 Sonatus. You only play 1. I don't like playing 3. I know a lot of people play 3, but you don't want this as a starter because, like, if you're starting off in the normal summon, this deck you want to special summon first and then use your normal summon as late as possible because that's when you get the most value. The normal summons are so impactful. They're high impact that you set up your grave with the other things and then you summon Senatus and make a Barca and just go off. But if I summon Senatus at the beginning of my turn, my opponent Baylor's, my turn is probably over. Like, my hand is probably that bad, you know what I mean? So that's why I only play 1 in searchable. Karuta is searchable off of Gatorg. It's part of one of the combos where you can search this to make another Barca because it's a winged beast. And Barca has an auto restriction where you have to have a winged beast monster plus a dragon tuner. Dragon Buster Sword, part of the, you can dump it with the Buster Whelp Link, and then it's part of the combo with Leviathan to set up. Mist Valley Baby Rock, this is a cool card that you can send off Gatorg to special it back. Bear in mind, this does miss timing. It's an order card that says when this card is sent from hand grave and not if. So if you discard it off of a Dragunity Ravine, for example, you do not get special summon back because the last thing that happens has to be that it was discarded, if that makes sense, which Gatorg does for you. And then we play Dark Worm and 3 Autos Revolution Dragon. Absolutely insane engine. Revolution Dragon, you can, it has 2 amazing effects. First of all, it's a starter and an extender. A pendulum effect, you can destroy it to summon back a Synchro Dragon monster, XYZ, or Fusion from your graveyard. So a lot of times you can use an extender, summon back any monster, including Gatorg. Other effects is you can pay 500, discard it from your hand to add a Dark Worm from your deck to your hand, which is insane. Dark Worm is an extender plus a starter because you can pitch it off Ravine, and then you get a free pitch, and then it special summons back from the graveyard when you control no monsters. So it's absolutely crazy. And then we play some hand trap lineup, 3 Ash and then 3 Gamma. I feel like the combo decks, you do have to play some sort of defense because if you're going second, like, you're in a lot of trouble. Ash is just generically good. Gamma's good because a lot of times you use your plays, you use Ravine before you commit any monsters to the board, you're like discarding. And this deck is really scared of Droll, so like Gamma's sick. And you can also make like Borreload Savage or something, you know, if you do get it out. 3 Ravine, obviously standard. We actually play like, I think 9 Ravines. We have 3 Remus, 3 Ravine, you have Terraforming, Goldstark to banish the Tempest, and obviously Tempest itself. If you hard draw it and you have a wind, you can do that as well. We have one Divine Lance, just another extender to you can search off Romulus, and you know, sometimes you draw like the glow or whatever, so you can just search this as another extender. Why not? You can also bounce it back as well as the other continuous spell or traps to summon back Zephyros. That does come up in the grind game. Glow, we only need one. You have 3 targets for it. Essentially, Armagram for the grind game, Leviathan or Mistletoe, but most of the time you're adding Mistletoe as a combo. You add this stuff for Romulus. You don't want more than one because it's, again, only once per turn. We're searching it as part of the combo anyways, so why not just have one, right? Dragon Shrine and Foolish Sparrow are just generic extenders. You can dump the Dark Worm, or you can dump like a Tempest or like a Armagram. The Gold Sark, again, you know, the Rhoda, same with the Terraforming for the Ravine, for the Remus. Called Belgrave because combo, so why not? We have to play it. And then these 2 extenders, it was just the World Legacy Guard Dragon and then the Monster Reborn. Guard Dragon's cool, you can bounce back with Remus as well. Side deck, you know, for Drytron, 3 Ally Justice. For other combo decks, 3 Nibiru. And then Dragunity Whirlwind, it's awesome. It's like a Shaddoll Fusion going second. What you can do is your opponent's control a monster and you do not, so Cyber Dragon effect. You can special summon a Dragunity Tuner and Wing Beast from your deck, and then you can synchro summon with them. So like it's a free, you know, again, you're not using your normal summon. It's just 1 card, allows you to get either like a level 8 Barca or level 6, which is crazy. And also you can synchro summon any dragon synchro monster, which is where I'll tell you guys in a bit, this Coral Dragon comes up. So aside for the back row removal, we have Harpy's Feather Duster and Twin Twisters, Red Reboot, and then Coral Dragon. I was like, you know what? I don't have room in the extra deck, but I'll side this just for like Altergeist or whatever. It comes up. It's a good grind card. You can summon it off of Dragon World and poses the threat. And then, you know what? You get to draw a card if they get rid of it. So why not? Fusion deck, or extra deck rather, 1 Fusion, Dragon Device Imprisonment, Trishula. It comes up throughout your combos. It's super good, and you'll see why in the combo vid after. These are your 3 ending monsters: Burrow Savage, Crystal Wing, and a Reed Bar. Negate monster effects, negate spells, etc. You actually do play 2 Barca here, because in 1 super combo, you have to invoke the power of both Barcas. And because it's not once per turn, you can flood your monsters with, you flood your board with these small monsters. It's huge. Gadark, this is your starter. Like, every single combo starts off with this because it allows you to search your deck, get your engine revving, fill up your graveyard, and it's a level 6, which you can make a tomb with Mistletoe. Obviously, we don't have LP anymore, so, you know, you gotta compromise. Boral Sword, you go second OTK, and then we have Darkness Metal Dragon, the Dragon Metal of Steel, which is another combo piece that comes up as well. And the super combo, Romulus combo part, Guard Dragon Pisty combo part, Heavenly Spheres, you know, interaction, Buster Out combo piece, and Troverse, another combo piece. As you can see, there are a lot of combo parts in this deck. That's the one drawback of this deck. None of the monsters really do anything until the end of your board, so it's really susceptible to this hand traps. Usually 2 hand traps like ends your turn, which kind of hurts. And there are a lot of choke points or like bottlenecks in this deck, so if they stop things, you know, if they know what to stop. But the nice thing is a lot of players don't know what to stop. They try to stop your Gadark. If you have extenders, you can just go into other things. But realistically, they should be like stopping either like, I don't know, your Tomb or like your Mistletoe, for example. So you can't do like those plays. It's similar to Dragon Link, but you know, obviously Dragon Link, they can do like things in between. They can make like Levianeer, they can summon like these other Chaos Ruler, and they have a grind game on their following turn. They can summon this, whereas this deck does not really have another turn. If your opponent can somehow break your board, you're kind of in a rough shape because you can't really, you're used in the combos, you usually use like 10 to 12 extra deck monsters. You're left with like 3 monsters in your extra deck, so you really can't do anything. But I guess that's the drawback for creating bigger boards. You know, it's kind of like a glass cannon type deck. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys some combos, so stick around and yeah, stay tuned. These combos are awesome. All right, I'll show you guys a combo here. I know a lot of YouTubers have been showing this generic combo, so I'll just show you guys how it works again. You need a Remus and 2 discards. Basically, you discard Remus, you know, obviously add Ravine, and then to get your combo started off, we're going to go Ravine, discard any card in your hand, add the Legatus, which allows itself to special summon when you control a Dragon Ravine. So we'll go ahead and special that, and then because you control Legatus on the board, you can actually bring back the Remus, because you just need to control a Dragunity monster, which we do. And then from here, you link up in the Gadark, which is the main man for your combo. Use the effect. We're going to add and dump a card from our deck, a Winged Beast or a Dragon, and we're actually going to do Zephyros here, because Zephyros has an ability which allows you to bounce any face-up card on your field to your hand as a cost, and then pay 400 life points to special summon it back. And now, because we control a Winged Beast and a Dragon, what we can do is link these off into Romulus, who will allow us to add a Dragunity Spell Trap card from our deck to hand. So we're going to add Glow, and then we're going to play the Glow, and that will allow us to add another level 6 or higher. So we're going to actually, or level 5 or higher rather, but we'll add Mistletoe. Cool thing is it also adds from deck or graveyard, so if for whatever reason you had to discard Mistletoe earlier in the turn, you can actually add it back on the grave. Fun fact. You can tribute that off, special summon the Mistletoe, and then he will allow you to equip monster from your graveyard. We'll pick Gaydark, and because it was special summoned successfully using Synchro, we can use Glow to actually special summon it back to your field from the in defense mode. And we're going to use the effect of Gaydark again to add, this time we're going to add the Phalanx. And the reason why we do this is because, 1, 2, 3, we're going to need it later for turn, right? So we're going to just do that. By the way, if you're playing against deck, that's probably a good place to Nibiru before they dump the Phalanx, just so they can't, you know, extend their combos again later on with Ducks. So from here, we're going to overlay because we have 2 6s. We can make the Tomb, and then we can detach. Always detach the Gaydark because we're going to bring it back, so make sure you don't mess up there. Use the effect, special summon the Red Eyes, Red MD. And then that will allow us to special summon back the Gaydark. And because Gaydark is not once per turn, you can special summon it again and then use the effect again. So you see where we're going with this. Pretty crazy. And sorry, this is really laggy, by the way. My computer's giving me a hard time. So we can use the Gaydark from here to add and dump the Mist Dudo. Where are you at? The Mist Valley Baby Rock, right? So we're going to add that to our hand. And because it was discarded as the last thing, it doesn't miss timing, and it can actually special summon itself. So we discard it, it special summon itself. And then from here, you know, you can link off into your Savage Dragon or Crystal Wing, I guess it's safer, just for whatever reason. You can make a Spheres. And because you have your Ravine in your hand, you can actually play it, and we have normal summon, right? So we can just go Ravine, discard this, add Ducks, and then you know the play from here. Obviously, this does involve your deck actually playing Vadriana, which in the deck profile I showed that we weren't playing because I have I think I have a better combo than this. But you know, I want to show you this generic combo. It's just off Remus and 2 discards. Pretty crazy, actually. You can make a pretty sick board. You know, Vadriana, it equips the Phalanx, just like in the good old days when you'd make Stardust, Broken plays, and then from here you just make the Boros Savage, which allows you to equip back the ROM, so you get 2 counters. So yeah, you have 3 interactions. You know, you have a negate, another negate, and 3 interactions off basically Remus and 2 cards. So that's the first combo I'll show you guys. What's up, guys? Okay, we're back here with the second combo tutorial, actually. It's the same opening hand, Remus and 2 discards, but I think this one was a lot better because you do get the Buster Lock, so that plays around Dark Ruler and Droplet. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly how this works. It's the same sort of opening combo, but it does deviate towards the ending. We're going to discard Remus to add the Ravine, which will activate, discard one of our random cards in hand, to add the Legatus, which we can special summon immediately because it's added to our hand. Then we can special summon back the Remus, because why not? We control Legatus, right? So we will do that. And then we'll do the, you know, the play. Summon now Gaydark, use the effect to add and dump the Zephyros to our hand, and then dump it to the graveyard. Zephyros will pay 400. Hopefully we're not in time. Special summon them back. And then we have 2 monsters, so we can use a Wing Beast and a Dragon to make a Romulus. If DB would stop lagging, thank you. And then we can use the Romulus to add the one and only Dragunity Glow, which will activate immediately from our hand to add the Mistletoe to. Adding a Mistletoe to our hand, we can tribute off the Romulus to special summon Mistletoe, which allows us to equip the Gaydark. And because it was special summoned off of Synchro Summon, which is a legitimate form of summoning, we can special summon this in defense mode, use the effect to add and dump the Phalanx to set up our grave, just like before. And then from here, we can invoke the overlay network and then summon back our Tomb. Use the effect detaching Gaydark, not the Mistletoe, because we need to special summon back the Gaydark so we can use it some more. And then we're going to summon back the Gaydark. And then here is where it gets funky. We're not going to actually add the Baby Rock like I did in the last combo. What we're going to do is actually add and discard another Phalanx because we're loading up the grave for you know what is going to happen later with our Barca, right? Because everything's going to come back, so why not? And here's where it gets even more weirder, because instead of making any Synchro or Link play, what we're going to do is a fusion summon of the Trishula. And you might be saying, oh my gosh, we just went -2 to make this Trishula, but trust me, it will be worth it. Because we use your Dragon's original type to summon Trishula, we can use the effect. We get to look at our opponent's extra deck to banish a card, see what they're playing, also banish a card off the top of their deck, and most importantly, banish a card from our deck, which is the Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms. When this card is banished, we can add 1 Wind Dragon monster from our deck to hand, which we will add Leviathan. So why not? It allows us to search this. Here's where we will do the Dragon Ravine play, and it will be a little bit different as well. We're going to discard a card, not the Leviathan, because when we discard the Leviathan, our combo is done. And I'll show you why. Instead of adding Dukes, we're going to add Senatus. And Senatus has this weird restriction where you have to discard a Dragunity card. I don't know why they made that terrible restriction, even when Dragunities were already bad, but I mean, I guess. We're going to discard this Leviathan just because we have it. And then this will allow us to add the last baby dragon to attach to Senatus, which is a Koos. There we go. And then Koos, you see where this is going already, can be treated as level 4, which will summon back to our field. And with Senatus, we are going to do a pleasant synchro summon for the one and only Dragunity Knight Barca. Oh my gosh, this is like playing like 2 miles a second. Come on, DB, you gotta get your stuff together. All right, Barca, and then boom, you already know we're attaching 3 baby dragons from our graveyard to this monster. So right off the bat, we already have essentially 5 monsters on board. So that Trishula was completely worth it because we were investing by loading up our grave. And one last thing, you do want to equip Barca, or Romulus rather, to the Barca because it's really important. Leviathan special effect from the grave. We can banish card equipped to the Dragunity monster to special summon from a grave. So obviously, you know, we're going to banish this. We're going to catch in the Barca later by banishing it attached to Romulus. From here, the positioning really matters. So be very, very careful with this. I'm going to just do this one by one so it's easier for you guys to see. We're going to summon back one of the Phalanxes, use Trishula as a link material to summon Protector Whelp. And then this will allow us to set up the Buster Lock by dumping the Dragon Buster's sword to our grave. And then next, we can just bring these guys out, because why not? We are going to use a Koos to make a Pisty. Because it has a restriction, we cannot synchro summon, so why not just cash it in for something that we can, and then have the Phalanx on board. So from here, we can do two things, I guess. You can either have the Buster Lock with the Dragunity Knight Aridabar to negate effects, or the Savage. I think the Savage is obviously better, because you can negate spells, traps, and monster effects, right? So, what we're going to do here is actually banish the Barca attached for the Leviathan, which we can bring back. And then here we're going to use Leviathan's effect to equip the Buster Sword, so your opponent's under the Buster Lock. We haven't used Pisty yet, so what we can do here is make the Triple Burst Dragon, use Pisty, and then bring back our Dragunity Knight Gatearch. And then Gatearch's effect will allow us to, because it's not negated obviously by Pisty for some reason, which is crazy, we can add and discard the Mist Valley Baby Rock wherever he is. There he is. And then he'll get special summon off his effect. So from here, we're actually going to link these off into spears because we want to have some more disruption. And then this 6+2 goes the Boral Savage, which allowed us to equip the Triple Burst and have 3 counters. So now our board, we have 3 disruptions, well, more or less 2 disruptions, plus the Buster Lock, which I think is better than another disruption. Because if our opponent has, like, you know, Dark Ruler or, like, Droplet, yeah, they can negate the other monsters, but they're still under the Dragon Buster Sword. And a lot of decks, they need their extra deck to function. So if they don't have, like, a Cosmic Cyclone, which most decks don't play, they still cannot play the game, if that makes sense. So I think this is a lot better combo. You can also make a Reed Bar instead of the Boral Savage and have the Reed Bar plus the Buster Lock as well as the Herdic Seal. Alright, I'm going to show you guys another combo box. This is a cool combo. This one involves Remus, 2 discards, and basically any extender, really. This same combo can be done if you have any Dragon or Wing Beast in your hand. It's a little different, but the end result is still the same. So I'm going to just show you with an extender, because most of the time you're going to have like a hand like this, you have an extender. So we're going to go off, same deal, you already know the drill. We're going to add Ravine. Because we have this Odd Eyes Revolution, a lot of people get greedy with this effect when they see, oh, I can summon back a Gatearch later, it's important. But no, it's a lot of times it's just better to use the effect as a starter, because if your opponent bottlenecks you, like they strike the Gatearch or something, you're not going to have anything to summon back the Odd Eyes, and it's just a dead card in your hand. So why not just cash it in for the extender at the beginning of your combo, because we can add the Pendulum Dragon here, which allows us to get a free discard plus extender off of Dragon Ravine. So I'm going to do that right away. Discard the Dragon Ravine. This will allow us to add the Legatus, which we can add to our hand, not special summon, because we need to control no monsters on our board to special summon the King Darkworm. And then once Darkworm is summoned, we can then summon the Legatus from our hand because we control Ravine, and then we summon Remus. So boom, we have 3 monsters on the board. We have to use Remus and Legatus to make Gatearch because it does require a Wing Beast, which this guy is not. And then from here, we can add and dump the Zephyros. But instead of using Zephyros right away, what we can do is we can actually use the Dark Worm and the Gatorg instead and leave the Zephyros in our grave for later because it's a wing beast, which is a commodity in this deck because you do need it to make Barca later on, right? So because Romulus can be 2 dragons, why not? Let's just use your dragons to do that. And then summon out Romulus. We're going to do the same combo here as before. You already know the drill. And BB is very laggy, but we're going to try and grit through this. There we go. Okay. We're going to add and play the Dragunity Glow again. And then we can... Oh, my neighbor's going to hate me because I'm yelling about these Dragunity combos. But then we're going to add the Mistletoe to our hand. And then tribute off the Romulus to add some special on the Mistletoe. Equip the Gatorg, special summon it back in defense mode using Dragunity Glow. Make a tomb. Boring. ZZZ Resident Sleeper. Make the Atomb, and then from here we're gonna discard. Bear in mind we have not used Zephyros yet, so if they somehow, like, you know, stop Valor Gatorg or whatever, you could bring Zephyros back and just do your regular combo, which makes this super cool as the extenders actually come in clutch. There's some Red Eyes Darkest Meadow. Summon out Gatorg. And then, as before, we're going to dump the Phalanx instead of the baby, because we're going to do the same Trishula play in the last combo. Make Trishula. You know, actually, this combo, I just realized you don't even need 2 discards, so, like, one of these ones could just be anything else. We're going to summon out the Trishula. And then Trishula effect will do the banishing. As you remember from before, we can banish the Tempest, add the Leviathan. And then what happens next is more or less the same. But from here, what we're going to have to do is, because we have to use the Rabin, is we're going to have to use the Mr. Zephyros here. But because we use this slate, this is super important because we can make a second Bark in a second. I'll show you guys how. Play the Dragon Rabin. We're going to discard one of the non-Leviathan, as you know before, because of the Senatus' weird interaction where you have to discard a Dragunity monster. Add Senatus to hand. We have not normal summoned, by the way, throughout all of this. So we're going to summon the Legatus. Summon the Legatus. There we go. Discard the Leviathan. And then we'll equip the... Koos. Oh, these cards will look the same, so it's hard to tell. Okay, and then now we're going to special summon back the Koos. And this is cool because, boom, we can make the Barca. And then we have 3 babies in the grave to attach. Oh, and you know what? I actually realized I forgot to use the Gatorg, so the baby should be... forgot to dump that baby after it's summoned off, so it should be in the grave. Once this is in the grave, obviously it attaches to the Barca. And then don't forget to attach this because we do need that for Leviathan later as specified before. And then from here, what we're going to do is summon back this. We're going to do the same combo here where you get the baby. You're going to use Trishula and a baby to make the Buster Lock. We're going to dump the Buster to our graveyard. And then here's where it gets tricky. You don't want to use the Koos right away for the Pisty. We'll summon this back. We'll make a Pisty here. But we need the Koos because we're going to make another Barca in a second here. So here we go. We'll just summon back this. And then from here, we're actually going to banish this one to special summon back the Leviathan. And then Leviathan, we're not going to get the Buster Lock right away. We're going to attach the Phalanx because it's an extender. So watch this. I want you guys to pay close attention to this because we're going to summon this back. And then we need to use the Buster Whelp and the Phalanx to actually make the Triple Burst Dragon because it's generic. And that turns on Pisty. But what we're going to do here is use the... Where are you? The Zephyros and the Koos. We can actually make another Barca here, which is nuts. So we have 2 Barcas, and we're just going to do the same exact thing again. We're going to equip everything. And boom, you know, like this board is just turning out to be absolutely ginormous. We can special summon back a Phalanx, or actually we'll special summon back the Koos because of the restriction again. Bear that in mind. We're going to use the Leviathan and the Koos. We can actually make the level 10. So the Arita bar, we can put that on our board right away. We can bring back the Phalanx, and what we can do here is we can use the Pisty to special summon back our Gatorg. I mean, we could discard the Mist Valley Baby Rock if I didn't summon this, but there's no point because we actually don't need the extra material. And what we can actually do here is just set up for next turn, because why not? We can just discard Remus. And then from here, we can make the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. And then what we'll do here is we still have this Phalanx right here, so why not we just special summon that? We're gonna use a Triple Burst in the Pisty to summon the Darkness Metal Dragon. And then what you can do here is use the Darkness Metal Dragon to special summon back the Gatorg. You can use the effect, or the effect's negated, so you can't use the effect again. And then you can make a Boros Savage Dragon. And then we can equip the Triple Burst Dragon. And then last but not least, we can banish that Barca to summon back the Leviathan. And then boom. That allows us to get the Buster Lock. So boom, already you have this crazy, crazy board of 1, 2, 3 negates plus the Buster Lock. Like, it's going to be hard for any deck to get past that. So it's obviously like super crazy. Another thing is you can do this exact same play if you have any dragon or a winged beast in your hand. So instead of using the Zephyros, you can actually add the Garuda, the Wind Spirit, at some point off of the Gatorg, and then discard that whatever that other winged beast or dragon as the part of the effect. And then you have the Garuda to summon back to make the second Barca, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's really about it with the deck. There's so many intricate combos. Definitely play around with it. Let me know if you guys come up with anything better. I was just like kind of played around and messed with a couple of days with this, and this is what I came up with. So yeah, hopefully we get some more support or some new ban list hits that are in our favor, and then this deck will be freaking lit. Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a dislike, and then definitely subscribe. I'll make some more stuff with some real decks in the future. Ciao.